Hello and welcome to another episode of the SMEFocus show brought to you by FactoryNOW TV. I'm your host, Christopher Greenough, and in this series we will focus on SMEs within the British manufacturing sector. Every week we will discuss and analyse the opportunities facing our industry in these unprecedented times. I have worked in the sector for over 26 years, and I am CCO of SDE Technology, one of the leading manufacturers of pressings and assemblies in the UK. So as you can hopefully appreciate, this show is very much for manufacturers by manufacturers. Today we have a special show. This is dedicated to apprenticeships and vocational learning with one of the leading lights from the sector. So my guest today sharing his views is Richard Bridgman, business leader and founder of Warren Services Limited. Richard, good morning and welcome. How are you?
Fine. Yes, great.
Good to see you.
I don't know about founder, all what you said or whatever. I'm just a pure engineer, but try to do.
Well, you are, but you're also with Warren Services and a business leader. I know you're well respected within the industry, certainly for what you and the family are doing with apprenticeships. So, you and your family and Warren Services, what are you doing with apprenticeships? What's so great about the work you're doing?
Well, I started the business with my wife 31 years ago now, and soon realised that we were living in rural Norfolk and there weren't that many engineers. You know, whenever we advertised, we got people of the same age as me answering to us or whatever. So very early on, probably within 2 or 3 years, I started looking at apprenticeships and took our first apprentice on. And that's the first time I struggled with colleges because we sent one lad down to the local college. I better not name names at the moment, but after he'd done his first year, they realised that they had a company that was quite switched on. So they came over and saw us, and I said, "Well, where do we go on? He's done this year. What's the next thing for him to do?" Well, why did he do that course? I said, because that's what you told us to do. So straight away I thought, and I've struggled right the way through with colleges, but I'm fortunate now, and later on in the programme I can explain my relationship. But apprentices really are the key to our business now. Over a third of our apprentices are current or ex-apprentices within our business. We're employing 120 people now, and before apprenticeships, work experience. We don't allow any of our young people to come into the business until they come in experience and work experience with us. That means they can find out whether they are serious about it, and also it finds out whether we're serious about them.
It's that whole relationship between you and the works experience and the apprenticeship. They need to know whether they suit your business, whether they're actually enthused about it or not, don't they?
That is it, and that is key to that. And it's worked for us right through I suppose probably over 25 years now. We've been training apprentices. One of the reasons I'm so passionate about apprenticeships, I was an apprentice myself, so I realised the value of it.
It's brilliant. And now I introduce you as a leading light because I really do, and I've listened to you speak many times, had the pleasure to meet you a couple of times, and really, I mean, what you're doing for apprenticeships and raising the level of engagement is fantastic. Now, I hear you recently met Boris Johnson to discuss the current state of vocational learning in the UK. How did that come about and how did it go?
Well, this was only last Friday. On the Wednesday, my MD got onto me and said, "Number 10's trying to get hold of you." So they couldn't find my email. With everybody knowing who I am, they couldn't find my email address or something. Yeah. So I had to email. I had a phone number to ring. So I rang up and they said, "Oh, we're having a round table with 7 other companies and we'd like you to be on that. We're going to have one of the ministers." And, that's what it was all about. Then as it happened on Friday, it wasn't a minister, it was Boris himself. So
brilliant.
Straight away. And we probably all had about 5 minutes one-to-one with him and told him the story of Warren Services and everything like that. He wanted to know how we could improve things with our experience coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
So, I went through about, what we do and everything like that. We talked about the Kickstart program. I told him that hadn't had a good start or anything like that. And they've been actually back on twice since then to find out, about the problems that there have been. I think it's a fantastic program. Kickstart is only like work experience.
Yes,
you get the young people in, if they're going to experience where you are. We are a gateway for Kickstart. Well, that means we're committed to take 30 people. But at the moment, I think we got 5 in different areas of the business. And it's working out now. We've still got some other vacancies out there, but I think the DWP are struggling because all of their people are having to work from home and they're only talking to the people directly on the phone. They're not doing it visually. So it's very hard to encourage these young people unless I like to see into somebody's eyes and everything like that.
Exactly.
You can tell
face to face.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously they've been on the phone to you since, so Boris has taken heed of what you were saying. How can we help him with the Kickstarter scheme? What more would you see that he needs to do?
Well, I think we need. My struggle over the years, we are, and it's blowing our own trumpet now. We are an exemplar of a company having apprenticeships. One of the things I am proud of is we are part of the 5% Club, and as it happened, the guy who started the 5% Club was on the call with Boris as well. So that was fantastic. That means that we guarantee every year that 5% of our workforce will be in on an apprenticeship with us. It doesn't mean you're going to take 5% people, because sometimes, but we're now saying to all of our apprentices, you come to work with us, and if you've got the right level and everything like that, you can go on and get a degree with us without incurring any costs.
Which is fantastic. I mean, that is the real. There was certainly a push in the sort of 80s, 90s for everyone to go and get a degree, but that degree wasn't adding any value. The vocational learning and the degree path now means they can get a degree, a loan-free degree, and they actually end up with a career at the end of it, which is it's what we need to do, surely.
Well, and that is one of the things I've been, apprentices went out of favour many, many years ago. And it's taken me so long to convince, within schools, the teachers would say, oh, we want you to stay on and do that A-levels, but you guys, you can have a look at an apprentice, as though it was sort of second to going to university or anything like that. But now we're finding people, they've looked at university, now coming back and saying, well, we'd like to look at an apprenticeship rather than going to university. We've had people who've gone to university who then come back to us and say, well, can we come and do an apprenticeship? Well, that isn't the way around it can be. But our key is we work with, I'm an enterprise advisor to our local school.
Yes.
I work very, very closely with West Suffolk College. They're unbelievable college. Many years ago, I was at a big meeting, probably about 2,000 people down in Ipswich. And they asked me to speak, and I got up and I told them that I thought all colleges, you're not delivering what we want as a business.
Yep. And
many, many years ago, I was lucky to meet a guy down at the missile company, MD, I can never think of their name, Gareth somebody or other. But he infused me, and I went back to my business and thought, if I can do just 10% of what he's doing,
yes.
MBDA, is it the missile company?
Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds right.
That's it. Yeah. If I can do 10%, so that was my vision. But now, we also work with a local UTC. We're very lucky. We've got a fantastic UTC up in Norwich, so we feed from them. Will, my son, you said about the family being involved. Will and my daughter's my HR. So they're the key to all going on and everything like that. But we're fortunate because it's just part of our DNA within the business now. Lots of companies say, oh, we can't take people on work experience or anything like that. They're always finding an excuse why they can't.
Whereas you're actively finding ways to make it work. So you said about the schools and colleges. I know you work with lots of your schools and colleges in your region, but is that more because of your vision and your family taking up the mantle? Is that because you've had to work to build those relationships? Should it be easier for businesses to engage, and should schools and colleges be more prepared to engage?
Well, that was my other thing to Boris. I said there's too much bureaucracy when somebody goes to the local college or provider about levy and just big manner of things, isn't it? You know, and I've always put myself in a picture of somebody. If you've got a company that's 10 people and they want to take an apprentice, if they say want to take an apprentice, we should fall over backwards to try and help them take on an apprentice. Don't put all different things in front of them. We've got to make it easy. You know what I mean? I sit on our local LEP skills board, you know what I mean? And I believe we only reach, you know, we spend so much time talking about things, ticking boxes and everything like that. And we're only getting to 20% of the businesses, and they're the 20% of the businesses that are engaged anyhow. We need to get back to the 80% to encourage more people. Once you get that DNA of apprentices within your business, all right, that you will struggle with some or whatever, but generally apprentices now stay with us. And we've got some unbelievable young people. Fantastic.
Well, and lots of people learn in a different way. So that vocational on-the-job training actually suits a lot more people. Now, obviously, Boris has got a vested interest in skills and learning and getting people into education and work. But certainly from COVID and the year we've just gone through, there's going to be a real push to getting people back into businesses. So I think with your help and others in our sector, he needs to start taking on the lessons and taking on what we're saying, doesn't he?
Well, I'm going back to Boris, but along with Boris was Gillian Keegan, who's the skills minister. She was there, but I think she was there just in case they dragged Boris away and she was going to chair the meeting. But I'm going to go back to her and to Boris and say, look, I've got a network of people. You know, we work very, very closely with the DWP, who's running the Kickstart. But I've been doing working with the DWP for many, many years now. And there's the DWP, everybody, whoa, they're fantastic. You know, there's lots of things, even before Kickstart, you can get somebody to come into your business for 8 weeks work experience. Doesn't matter what age they are. If they're already drawing the dole or whatever you like to call it, they can come into your business. They carry on getting that. And some of our employees now are ones that have come from that.
Yes.
And years ago, the head of the DWP locally said to me, look, we'd like you to take some more people on work experience. I said, look, I only want to give people work experience if I can give them a job.
Yes.
No, she said, look, Richard, if they come to you, you give them, you get that work ethic back with them and everything like that. And some are still with us now.
And that's a valuable lesson to many people, isn't it?
We've got people within our business who've got degrees who were classified as NEETs, which I couldn't, you know, you can't understand really, because you always think a NEET is somebody who's come from a deprived family or anything like that. But there's some that something isn't clicking right. And
yes, absolutely.
We've got some just
fantastic people within your business. I've met some of those. So promoting manufacturing is something I am absolutely passionate about. I think we're fantastic in this country at engineering manufacturing. So how can you enthuse the next generation into careers in our sector?
Well, you know, thankfully for you today, we're doing it from you. You know, I'm a member of Make UK. I joined them when I was a very, very small company, and I've grown with them. So through them, I do get out preaching, if you like, or whatever. And whoever approaches me, I think I've got to, if something comes up locally, I'm fortunate because I'm retired now, so-called retired. My wife probably wouldn't agree with you, whatever. But there's a voice out there. But anybody, after we've been talking today, if anybody wants to contact me through you, I'll willingly tell him about the journey that we've done over the years and everything like that. And the pitfalls. We've got a very, very young age within our business because, a third of our business are ex-apprentices. So there's so many businesses, I think you're from the Midlands, aren't you, up there?
Yes.
There's so many, I've met people in the Midlands with businesses where they're all 60, 70 and everything like that, and they've got no young people in there.
Yeah.
You've just got to make that decision to do it. And they don't, if you look after them, they don't leave you. They stay with you.
Fantastic. Richard, I mean, you're preaching to the converted. I think UK manufacturing is fantastic. The work that you do personally and your team at Warren Services, promoting vocational learning, promoting apprenticeships, helping with the Kickstarter scheme. Boris needs to have you in his cabin, I think, going forward. You say you're semi-retired, but I know you're working harder than ever on behalf of lots of people, and it's fantastic to talk to you. Thank you for your time, Richard.
Anybody if I can help anybody we've got to make UK industry great. Let's promote it. It is already great. We've just got to get it out there. Fantastic.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you for your time today.
Bye.
Well, that's Richard. Great to talk to him today. That brings us to the end of another SME Focus show. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to meeting more of our brilliant SME manufacturers like Richard next week. If you would like to get in touch with the show with a comment, a suggestion, or to appear on a future episode, please email us tv@mtd.media. If you would like to speak to Richard or get in touch with him, contact me as well. So from me, Chris G at SDE, goodbye.